welcome to the Online Tips and Tricks webinar created by the Norfolk County Digital Service Squad here in Norfolk County. We're just looking to help small businesses with some easy tips and possibly obvious tips for small business, but these things will make all the difference as the online world becomes the world that most businesses kind of need to operate in. So just going through the agenda for today's presentation, they're going to start with an introduction, and then we'll get into the content of where the opportunity lies online and how your business can capitalize on this opportunity. Next, we'll talk about just the basics of getting online, some outlines of tips and tools that I'll be going into greater detail on. So these would be social media, websites, and then also graphic design. Lastly, I realize that your business still does have a storefront and there are uses for offline insights. So I've included a few offline insights to get the wheels turning on other things maybe you can take advantage of that don't necessarily have to do with online tools. Lastly, we'll end with some questions and then a quick wrap up. Just to begin with an introduction of myself, my name is Connor Webb. I'm a University of Guelph graduate this past April in 2021, graduating from a marketing management degree. I have previous experience in digital marketing, design, and small business, whether it be through school or my past work experience at other municipalities. I have some experience with the process of creating and owning and operating a business through training in a entrepreneurship class at the University of Guelph. So I do have a little bit of context towards small business, and then through my time in Norfolk, like it says, I've been learning every day, and I'm able to see the progression that comes from talking and interacting with small businesses the last 4 or 5 months. So when we're spotting an opportunity, there's just 3 facts that I wanted to highlight here. In the last quarter of 2021, for every $10 spent in store, there's $1.30 spent online. So that kind of relates that over 1 in 10 purchases take place online, or over 1 in 10 dollars are spent online. Half of customers directly associate the use of visuals with competency. So this would be on your social media channel, this would be on your website. The visual effects and the visuals that meet your customer's eye when they first visit your pages are basically what's going to give them an idea that your business is here and means business. Next, 94% of customers will leave a website with poor graphic design. We've all been to the websites that look like they were stuck in the stone ages of Adobe Flash and some really poorly executed design. Unfortunately, there's no room for error when it comes to that stuff nowadays. We have to make sure that websites and social media are designed with good, strong graphic design elements to set yourself apart and really show the professionalism that your business requires. So just talking about getting online, it seems obvious now that online presence is the greatest tool to acquiring new customers. You're going to get the biggest reach that your business is able to get by being online. You're no longer just a slave to the foot traffic that goes past your store on Main Street in your town. You're able to expand, and so we want to help you get online. So just a couple of, or just a quick fact here is that 81% of shoppers do online searches before making a purchase. So being visible online, 4 out of every 5 customers want to see online where they're going to be eventually spending their money. So being online and meeting them where they are is a huge asset. Additionally, you have direct access to key demographics for communication and promotion that you might not get by operating a store during business hours. So this could be demographics of age or possibly demographics of people who work in certain industries, maybe utilizing your products more often. If those people are either occupied or unable to meet you based on your store and where they are at the time, these are barriers that can be knocked down with a great online presence. as well as the ability to shout from the rooftops about promotions or new developments with your business that can kind of garner some excitement from those key demographics. Like I said, your website is always going to be open for business. So this is morning, night, 2 a.m., whenever somebody's interested in making a purchase or interested in searching up your business, they will always be able to find you, and there will always be a place in the internet carved out for that interaction, no matter what time of day it is. And that is a key for in the quick interpretation times we live in today, where things have to happen quickly and there needs to be responses quickly. When that search happens, you want to be able to give them basically the attention that they crave at any hour of the day. So that's a huge part of getting online. Next is useful data and information. No one gives you a roadmap of what your customers are going to spend their money on and why they're going to spend it on what they do. But you're able to use data and create patterns and interpret changes over time, or just as patterns emerge, switching your strategy to accommodate these. And all of that data and information is extremely enabled by your ability to use the internet, and those insights are critical. Lastly, it's a way to differentiate. We've all seen the same building with 6 different businesses in a strip mall, and you can kind of see, okay, I noticed that there's all these different places. I don't know what makes them different. I don't know why that store is different than the store I see on a different street or the one I've known my whole life, just based on the walls that are in front of you. So your ability to go online and differentiate your business is a huge asset. You can basically make a fingerprint of your exact values, your exact body of work on the internet for essentially no cost. And your customers will be able to appreciate what makes you unique and what makes you effective as a business. So we're just going to dive in now to the 3 easy online tools, just as a high-level overview. In order to introduce these topics, I'll be going into greater detail later, but for these 3 online tools, we're going to start with social media. The average person spends around 2.5 hours on social media every day. I know I probably am dragging that average a bit up, and many young people are doing that as well. So as that trend rises, social media becomes more and more ingrained into everyday society. It's more important that, unfortunately, that you don't get left behind. You just need to meet. The business trends are going to keep going online, and people spend more time on social media, and that's a great way to meet people for a sale. Like I said before, with 80% searching online before they purchase, actually 54% of social media users directly search for products on social media. So this can either be through searches on Facebook, maybe on the Instagram shopping tab, or just directly through a direct message, all kinds of different ways to interact with products online. And it's a very obvious trend that users are looking for products when they're on social media. They're not just passively interacting with businesses, they're actually searching out products. Next, around 7 in 10 people are likely to refer a friend based on positive social media interaction. That means every 7 people that you talk to, or out of every 10 people you talk to, 7 of them are likely to not only use your business and maybe purchase something from you, but they're also willing to spread that to either their family at home or their extended family or their friends at work or their friends that they see regularly. This whole web of connection and referrals has to begin with a positive interaction on social media. And so focusing on social media interactions and putting a new importance on their execution is huge for growing not only just the ability for your business to be in the back of the minds of like, oh, I remember when so-and-so mentioned that they had a great message with the owner. I know I need that product or service now, so let me start there. And continuing, there's a wide range of audiences and platforms on social media. So it's a really pick your own adventure, and you can go on Facebook and kind of utilize the tools that they have on there, whether it be through Facebook Marketplace or events or the Photos tab or great videos, links that you can put in there. There's a lot of great customizability, and there's a lot of great audience differentiation from each platform. Like I have listed here, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. Those obviously involve three essentially very different audiences and very different interaction styles, but they can all be used if you find them useful. Lastly, there's infinite scalability. You can, if you have 10 followers or if you have 10,000 followers, the cost to you is zero. And those interactions are just growing and growing and growing. And you can basically get benefits to your social media presence by just keeping up with it, just being present with it, and not letting it kind of fall by the wayside. The opportunity is there if you're willing to seize it. Next is a website. So a website essentially has become the de facto front door of your business on the internet, and surprisingly is interpreted, the homepage is interpreted in less than 5/100ths of a second. This small instantaneous interaction is going to catch the eye of the person who's visiting your website, and because of that, they're either going to be able to stay on. Like I said before, 94% of people are going to leave if they don't see something they like. So in that small interaction, you have to be able to present yourself in a professional and elegant way. Next, 84% of customers say a website makes a business more credible. So if you don't have a website for your business and you're wondering what's lagging behind with sales or what's lagging behind with referrals, being online and having a good quality website, it makes your customer believe that you're up with the times. You're here to stay when it comes to this new and evolving business landscape online. And that kind of runs into the next point as well. A professional website speaks for itself. It can make your small store look mighty. If you have a two-person operation, but your website looks better than Amazon's website, or it looks similar, has great functionality or a great photo library, and you can really drive home that like your business is everywhere it needs to be. Your business is taking off, and it's coming up to be, it looks as though it's more than the sum of its parts, essentially. And a website needs to be professional for that to happen. It needs to look impressive. So like I said before with social media, a website meets customers where they are. They're online all the time. They're searching for products all the time. And what better way to get fed products from your business than also meeting them online? It informs customers without them having to call for a phone call. Now, as time has gone on, things like booking a reservation have gone online more often just to avoid that interaction because it's more convenient. It's easier. You don't have to worry about an awkward conversation or something like that. And so that convenience level of they can get to know who you are and get to know your website at a great convenience to you and to them. 100 people can be looking at your website at one time and all getting a different interpretation of it. But you're able to, those 100 people, talk to them at the same time, and they're able to see what they want to see at the same time. And like that, a great website will stretch your business further in any desired direction. If you want to take your business from being a small shop with a very tight Instagram following or a very tight network of customers that really form a small community, then your website can be catered towards maybe a message board or some sort of exchange of information or exchange of ideas that it makes that community feel tighter. If you want your reach to be about product quality, well, you can include instructional videos, you can include reviews, and you can stretch it in really any direction you see fit, because you're able to see what customers are looking for out of your products or services. You're able to see what they like about your business as a whole, and you can essentially mold that into a specialty with your website. Next is graphic design. So like I said before with social media, the differentiation factor with graphic design is it is of number one importance when it comes to what makes your business pop. You want to be able to be impressive, be beautiful, be something that your customers will look at and say, not only do I love the products and services, but I could scroll in their feed for hours. I love their pictures, their stories, the way that their flyers run together. The Instagram stories are beautiful to look at. And presentation online for things like this is everything. People love to look at beautiful things. It's artistic and it's it's great to look at, and you can really express yourself. And those paying attention to details when it comes to graphic design and really taking it seriously can help get that and can help really bring eyeballs to your stuff in a way that it wouldn't be able to with just text or maybe just a video or a picture. Next, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Creating a personality and brand values and brand image can come so easily through graphic design. If you want your feel to be warm and family oriented, there's great graphic design tips that can do that for you. If you want it to be more mechanical and emotionless, but also more exact and precise and seem like a different personality, you can do that just through the design factors that you employ. And also, it's never been easier. There's amazing, great services for free and paid, and they're getting easier to use by the day. Because of that, they're getting more necessary by the day. So let's start with a couple tips and some more tools that you can go into with social media. So social media is one of the most accessible and important parts of taking your business online. It's when you Google Connor's golf store, the first thing that's going to come up is probably a Facebook page or a website or some sort of interaction on social media. And it's an extension of your store. So it takes it beyond your front door to include maybe products online that can be sold, the personality of your business through social media, through the authoring of posts and the curation of photos and videos, and really just excellent interaction with the users that make you seem friendly. It makes them feel like they want to support your business. And lastly, professionalism. At the end of the day, your social media is going to be a place where your customers get a good impression of who you and your business are. And being professional and being impressive with your attention to detail is something that social media, it's very easy to capitalize on and very necessary. Next, social media should be how your customers best interact with your business and received updates with the goings on within your store. Now, a lot of people might say that a website is a great update forum where you can post blogs and post different changes to different pages. However, that is usually going to take a lot of back end manipulating with the with the website. And social media can put out bite-sized content, and it can be up to the minute, 10 minutes, one post, 10 minutes, another post, or maybe it'll be about this new shipment you got and you only got one or two of them. You build some desire, build some interaction. So here's some more just tips for social media. Facebook and Instagram need to be balanced with visual and written information. So this can include some great photos or testimonial pictures of things that your customers have found with your business, as well as what you kind of want to push with your business visually. But at the end of the day, you need to include some context for your pictures. Having a photo of a garden at your business might give one impression just as a photo, and then you write a meaningful caption and it changes meaning completely. But balancing the two is something that it should be prioritized. Next is balancing the exchange of information and emotion. So if you run a store that's very robotic, where you're like, okay, the 20% off sale starting next Wednesday, new candles have been just shipped in, and you kind of give information that more like an exchange that's not based in anything to do with your business besides the exact functionality of the day-to-day operations. There should be some sort of balance of emotion, of maybe a smiling photo with you or someone you work with holding a candle, saying, this is a brand new scent, it's Jimmy's favorite, it's something to do with bringing the emotional element into those posts, being able to create personality within your social media. And to get referred, you need to be friendly and accepting. This may seem easy, but you have to give people the benefit of the doubt that sometimes they're asking you questions that you may think are rudimentary or you may have already answered in your social media or website. But being friendly, being accepting, allowing those people to find their way with your business is going to allow them to take with them a positive view of you. And in any situation that you're given where maybe you need to be referred, or you need to refer somebody, they're asking you questions about a business you've used, you can kind of bring that experience to the front of mind. Next is the creative license on social media. So this is a great aspect. Maybe one store who is selling pillows, they can do their strategy for selling pillows, maybe doing some product features, and there could be an entirely different strategy for a different pillow store. It's so customizable, and it's so easy to really pursue what you find important about your business, and it's a no holds barred situation with incredible upside. And what comes along with that is access to insights to really plan out your social media. So you're able to find insights on Instagram and Facebook, whether it be through age demographics, geography demographics, and many other differentiating factors. So you can have a sense of where you need to go with things based on where you've been. Next is selling capabilities online. Like I mentioned before, the Facebook Marketplace as well as the Instagram Shopping tab have become more popular over time. Facebook Marketplace is becoming an extremely focused option on their mobile app as well as on their desktop app. And because of this, you can actually put your products on there and maybe get some sales on there. Why not try to use as many channels as you can? So the main kind of platform that most businesses are going to start with is Facebook. So for creating and mastering a Facebook profile, you need clear images. Photos should be clear in your profile picture and in your header to directly identify your business. Leave nothing to chance. You're coming into a crowded dance floor. You need to look and stand out and be presentable. Don't beat around the bush with your imagery in the profile and header. You want to be able to be easily identified. Next is, as easy as it sounds, you need to feature your business hours, links to a website if you have one, and direct ways to contact the staff, because chances are that's why they're searching for you. That's going to be the first thing they want to know, and that's going to be the easiest way to show that you are, when you're open, that you're ready to hear from your customers, and that you have a direct pathway to what should be your main selling area, which will be your website. Next is posting regular updates, like I said, mixing visual and written media, and enabling sharing and encouraging interaction. So during COVID, there have been many times where businesses have waited months before updating their customers on what's going on. If you were looking at that, you would assume they're either closed or they're moving or they're not running at full speed, essentially. So being regular, consistency is king on social media. Being able to interact and share, having your customers being able to interact and share your content is imperative. It will give you not only some more exposure, but it'll give you a great snapshot of where you're at with your customers if they're interacting with you. Next, we're going to go through how you're going to kill it on Instagram. Posts on Instagram are where you show off the visual appeal of your business. These are definitely much more photo-centric posts, and they're going to showcase some things that are maybe a little bit more abstract than what Facebook posting would regularly be. So, for instance, posts don't need to be directly related to your business, but they should always align with brand value and personality. So if you decide to post photos that don't necessarily apply to any products, don't necessarily apply to any new business ventures within your store, but they carry through the spirit of your business, and that seems a little wishy-washy, but I think that makes sense, where if you can capture who your business can be, and kind of communicating that, not directly through things that are happening day to day, it'll be a great tool, and it shows some vulnerability that customers will find endearing. And lastly, setting up as a business page to receive insights will give you great basic demographics that can help guide strategy. Before I end on social media, I just wanted to leave you with kind of a card for the most important thing I think you should focus on with your social media, and that is to post what you like about your business. Don't worry about exactly how it can be viewed by, if 99 people like it and one person don't, maybe I should try to help that 100th person like it. And don't worry about that kind of stuff. Focus on what you love about your business, because there's a good chance if you love it about your business and you're vocal about it and you're willing to kind of put that passion on the line, your customers will not only respect it, but will respond to it. Next, we're going to go into some tips and tools for the website. And this is just going to start with a couple little definitions about what I can communicate with you about your website. So websites are an online extension of your business. It's the way that the after hours or I don't know, an hour away, I don't think I'm going to make the day trip down and go visit the business, but I'll go on their website. I'll look through their products online. So it's just an online address for your business. It should be very similar and have the same kind of feel to it. So websites convey what you're all about, and there's a good chance that the people viewing your website will only ever access you from the internet. So making your website a priority is something that you have to do in order to capture that attention and in order to really feed into that interaction, because you're not going to be getting them actually through the door, so that your website has to stand as a great representation of your business, because there's a good chance it's going to be where most of the people interact with you. And as you can see here, as time goes on, websites are becoming more and more important and should be a serious undertaking. This has never been more true, as you know, over the last almost 2 years, that COVID-19 has made shopping online extremely preferred. And because of this, more and more websites are becoming more and more functional, and keeping up with that rate of change is imperative. And lastly, some kind of just obvious points here, but a website has a virtually unlimited reach. Obviously, there's no restriction on what you can do basically on the internet. If you live in Vancouver or in like England or Australia, you're able to see what's on the internet. And so because of that, you really can't underestimate how far your website can go if you put the work in. So now just to talk a little bit about e-commerce. So e-commerce obviously would be selling your products through an online portal where you can accept payment and send out products either through the mail. So you'll be able to send your products through the mail or basically have a pickup option. But e-commerce is a great new and exciting avenue that your business could go down. And because of that, there's many great options for website templates. You may think if you need to code a website, you're going to be behind the eight ball. You don't know where to start. You got to hire somebody. You got to pay a lot of money. Obviously, that kind of thought process can spiral down and discourage you. But there are plenty of great options for website templates. So these can be on Shopify or Wix or Squarespace, or the list goes on. These can be very easily customized from their templates and set you apart and differentiate you as well, but still give you the infrastructure that these large companies kind of pride themselves on and bank on. Next, as I mentioned before, websites never close for business. You're operating 24/7 and you're selling 24/7 if you enable e-commerce. So getting e-commerce set up and getting a website that you're proud to be using will allow you to kind of make sales in your sleep, as funny as that sounds. And lastly, even if you do get discouraged by the change of pace or the change in technology or things you might not understand about a website, which I know there's things I certainly don't understand about websites, but there are excellent tutorials and instructions that are here to help. So lastly, just to leave you with kind of the things to focus on with a website, these are what I'm going to call the basics, and what I think is necessary to start with is a great landing page. Like I said, it takes about 0.05 of a second for someone to interpret your landing page. So being crisp and effective and interesting and visually appealing, these are all things that you need to make a priority, because once they're there and they like what they see and they're clicking through the website, you've won an immense battle. Next would be links to social media. Get these customers somewhere where they can interact with you, where they can follow you. They can kind of take in your personality. They can take in all the cool updates that you've done. They can kind of follow you through that whole process. These social media links are a huge asset and can lead to some more interesting interactions. Next would be a product list or e-commerce. So I can understand that if you have a very unique product that has different iterations and e-commerce kind of doesn't seem like a viable option, at least giving an idea of what there is to buy from your business is a huge necessity. You need to have people interested in your products, and you need to have them be able to see it in front of their face without having to come visit your store, without having to ask for more information. Your customers should never have to ask you to show them what they should buy. You should be showing them and then asking them, do they want to buy? Next is a contact page, which is fairly obvious. Your customers may have questions about your website. Your customers may have questions about shipping or other, who knows, thousands of questions that I can't predict what they will be. And because of that, having a contact page is a necessity. You will clear the air, you build relationships, you'll have those positive customer interactions that lead to referrals, as well as you'll be able to kind of gauge what your site is lacking. You'll be able to gauge what your business is lacking based on those questions. Next is reviews and testimonials. These are going to be like those organic referrals on your actual website, where if customers are leaving reviews and you got 10 5-star reviews on a certain product, it's going to kind of build its own reputation and become a snowball effect. And then for testimonials, you get that video visual interaction with the customer, and you can leverage that towards a piece of media that then also snowballs and can act as a promotional asset. Next, listing what sets you apart, giving an about me or some sort of what gave you the passion to start your project, or what gave you the passion to venture into business by yourself. Who are you trying to help? Why are you trying to help them? What
what is different about you and maybe a competitor. These are all things that are gonna build loyalty and build respect and build sales. Next is mobile compatibility. This is a imperative, like non-negotiable. Your website has to work on phones and look good on phones. That is a huge part of having a website, is making sure that your website looks good on a phone. That's where a lot of people are going to be interacting with the internet the most. And when you're on the go, or you're out and about with other businesses, you may want to compare prices, and having a mobile compatible website is absolutely necessary. Now, most importantly, for a website, only create a website that you can manage. We've all seen the cluttered websites with empty pages and items out of stock but still listed in certain areas, or a cart that's hidden at the bottom and the contact page is nowhere to be found. Just make a website that you can manage. If you think 5 pages with contacts and products, about us, social media, testimonials, perfect. Those are your 5 pages. You don't need to do anything more than that. And if you even think that, okay, about us, products, social media, maybe those are the only 3, but you nail it, you are going to be way better off than someone with 25 web pages and all of them are half done. Less is more when it is presented well on a website. The last tool that I'm going to be talking with you today about is graphic design. Graphic design, I've kind of highlighted 4 main benefits to graphic design here. Graphic design is the single greatest leap you can take for your business visually. It is going to punch up whatever you're doing online, just even 10, 15 times more impressive to look at. You're going to find ways to really show some professionalism and some unique design, set yourself apart. So having those visuals, the graphic design software really can't be overstated. And graphic design captures attention for very low input cost. There's going to be some tools that I'll highlight later, some software that you can actually use that's free, and it's going to capture attention. Think about all the times you've been on social media, you've been on Google, or some sort of interaction with photos and videos, and you see a really striking image, and it's with a product presented with awesome colors and in a great way, and you're looking at a beautiful image and you go, this is a very impressive way to display products. That can be done for only an exchange of time. It doesn't need to cost any money, and it's going to get easier as you go. So it's a very effective way to really capture the attention of anybody that comes across your products. Next is a great way to convey professionalism. If you have well-structured and beautiful-looking posts for a grid of 60 Instagram pictures, the way that customers are going to interpret you is that these people know exactly what they're doing. They are here for the mission of selling X. They are here for the mission of highlighting why this product is useful. They're doing it in a way that shows you, like, okay, this is their livelihood, this is their passion. They're willing to cross all the T's and dot all the I's visually. And next, it's customizable to no end. You could ask 10 different graphic designers to design a poster for a band, and they will bring back 11 different iterations. You can do anything you want to do on graphic design, and it's all really going to look good as long as you follow some kind of like simple rules. So now going into the programs that you can actually use for graphic design, there's so many amazing free tools, including Canva, Inkscape, Graphic Designer, and DesignCap. Canva is definitely a favorite amongst new graphic design users because of the customizability and because of all the tools that it gives you as you're using it, and the prompts it gives you and the tutorials it's giving you. You have an amazing amount of assets that you can use in order to create a beautiful design. And if those tools seem a little bit over your head, or you find that it's kind of hard to catch on and learn, there's amazing tutorials on YouTube, and maybe even in a FAQ or a page that you can ask for help. And it allows you to embrace your creative side. It may be you're a little sick of the social media posts that you're putting out, or you're sick of some of the graphics on your website. You're able to change and do what you love, and maybe it's been 20 years since you've designed a drawing that you love, or a poster that you love, or you've always kind of kept it pretty vanilla, but now you can explode your creative side, pour yourself into your business. So here are some tips for graphic design that I think are very easy to follow, but will get you started on the right foot when it comes to what really visually is an effective way to communicate with your customers. So to begin, being seasonal. Obviously, we've seen there's holiday posts from different businesses, and fall posts, and spring, and Canada Day, or any sort of holiday or season. Even though it may seem cheesy, it shows some time has elapsed and things are evolving, and you're following along with how things are, and things are changing. It leads for some relation, some personality. Not that it leaves you operating within the world you're trying to sell to, rather than operating independent of it, kind of staying within one vein. Next, it should include a call to action. If you're going to post something on Instagram, or post something on Facebook, or maybe an Instagram story or a Facebook story, or any sort of graphic, make it with a purpose. Obviously, there are ways to make it creative, and you can have however presentation you want. But at the end of the day, these are made for your business to get better at being a business. And because of that, you're going to need calls to action to actually engage who you're capturing with these images. Next is using photos. Like I said before, you love to look at beautiful things. Maybe it's a beautiful scene of flowers, or maybe it's a beautiful scene of the sky, or your products are presented in a way that's visually satisfying, and you got great patterns within your business, or great patterns within a certain product. Showcasing those photos, really being visual, being proud of the visuals that you have, is a huge aspect. Next is limited and effective text. We've all seen the PowerPoints, kind of like this one. Hopefully this isn't very similar, but we've seen the PowerPoints where it's just bullet points, and then just a flat screen underneath of it, and you're stuck halfway through not paying attention, or you're reading it and have to go back and read more, or whatever. But keeping it limited, keeping it effective, maybe a few sentences at most, and then a call to action, or just as little information as you need to convey what you're going to say. Maximum 2 or 3 fonts is the next thing. Obviously, it'll make more sense once you start with Canva, but there's all kinds of different options you can use, and some of them look really, really cool. So you don't want to overdo the differentiation of the fonts and the images and stuff, just because eventually it gets to a point where it looks too busy and jagged, and it's not put together well. So maximum 2 or 3 fonts. Maybe there's some emphasis you want to put on certain words, that's fine. That can be managed, but if each line has a new font, it's going to look really really messy. And another thing is, make sure that it's bite size. Don't be worried about having too quick, or your graphic design images being lost. But the bite size engagement is kind of what it's like a little bit of cheese for the mouse of your customer. It's just a little bit, it brings them back in. Those bite size engagements are they're not going to annoy people. They're going to show you exactly what you want to see with your business. They're maybe it's an update that's exciting. Just keeping it short, keeping it sweet is a very big tip of mine. And most importantly for graphic design is push the boundaries. Differentiation is your greatest asset. Like I said, in the graphic design process, you're going to be different than every other person that has ever created something. You are going to have a different interpretation of what you want to say, a different execution of what you're going to say, and a different process of getting to all those things. So embrace that differentiality. Embrace your creativity. Now, just to kind of round it all out, I'm going to give some offline insights that you can kind of take forward and maybe just a little bit of food for thought for your store in person, as well as what you can kind of mend between online and offline. So first, 56% of people have focused on shopping local from the beginning of COVID-19. This obviously, it was pushed like crazy to support local business and support businesses in your hometown because they're the ones that are struggling most from COVID. And because of that, over half of people have now kind of put a focus on shopping local, which is a great asset for you and your small business. Next is the buy now, pay later system. Now this is something that is mostly used online, but an interesting phenomenon to follow along on. I think that buy now, pay later is it satisfies that impulse purchase desire that I know I've had in the past, and everybody who's gone to the counter at Walmart and picks up the little candy bar, they've all done it too. But it capitalizes on that experience, and buy now, pay later is something that's growing in popularity. So just something to keep an eye on. 75% or 3/4 of customers say that being able to give feedback on in-store shopping makes the business more favorable. So having that, not having that two-way mirror and the interrogation where you can see them and they can't see you, having the interaction and the ability for crowdsourcing ideas and being open to suggestions. And what comes along with that is criticisms, but often criticisms are where you can either say, I don't know why they thought that, or I know why they thought that, let's change it. Next, 37% of people don't know what they want when they walk in a store, and store organization can help with that. So this is something that jumped off the page at me, that almost 4 in 10 people walking into a store are going in to look, as I've told many salespeople when I've been in businesses. But I think organizing your store in such a way that maybe you can point certain people in certain directions. If you notice that maybe women 65 plus that come in your store are likely to buy this, or maybe online you've learned that high school aged men are willing to or are more likely to buy this, you can kind of point and shoot in certain directions with your store organization and maybe convert some of those almost 40% of people into kind of having some convictions about what they want to buy. So the next thing I'd like to ask for all of you is, what have you noticed? Obviously, I've been here talking for so long, and I think that this is a two-way street. I've been telling you about interactions. So what are businesses in the community noticing? And what is an emerging trend that you think can be capitalized on?